wonder about his opinion as to why the ITP trial of metformin failed to show any life extension benefit in a mouse model. I imagine it's just like the mice models just are not human models, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, there are two things. First of all, some animals show and some didn't show longevity. And the major flaw is there was no dose response. They all were treated the same. And when I used to say when I started aging research, the model that we all used is caloric restriction, right? We will take animals, half of them will give them to eat whatever they want, and half of them got 60% of that. And those caloric restricted animals lived 40% longer, but they also were healthy, right? But you already know one thing. If you give them nothing to eat, they'll die in 4 days, right? So there's just enough. Certainly when you give a drug, if you give it in a certain percentage, this is the percentage that on average extends lifespan 7%. It doesn't mean that you don't do it more. But what humorous for me in this argument is we know from humans that the decrease in mortality is like 40%. So I don't care about the animals. I think people don't understand metformin have shown what it's supposed to do in humans. So why do I have to answer you what's wrong with the ITP? By the way, even the ITP, first of all, what's the animal model that lived the longest in the ITP?
No.
Combination of rapamycin and metformin. Okay, this combination lived the longest. Okay, metformin in males, the ITP has 3 sites where they were doing the studies. In 2 sites, it increased lifespan by 10%, and in 1, it decreased lifespan by 2%. So it wasn't statistically different. But even in the ITP, you can see that some groups have lived longer. But the point is, I really don't care. You take 1 dose, and by the way, if it's 1%, they'll die soon, because metformin in high dose is like a cyanide, okay, in high dose. We don't get to this dose, and I don't think that we can get to act like cyanide, but it's like cyanide. So if animals are sensitive to metformin and they die in high dose, you have to find the right dose of when it's effective in animals, and nobody have succeeded in doing that, have tried to do it, not succeeded. Nobody has done it. So we don't know what's we know that they give this dose. We don't care about this dose because humans we did all those studies. So enough of it.
Makes sense. Then